my God. That was great.
You're welcome.
Welcome back into the Bill Austin radio studio. You are listening to The Future is Female. I'm your host, Nicole Pinter, alongside me, Sarandon and Raboin. Gabby Ducharme is not with us again this week.
She's not dead. You made it sound like she was. She's not with us. She's just out in California.
She's at freaking Disneyland.
I know. Which she didn't invite us. So
no.
it's
Well,
fine.
actually, she did invite me.
She didn't invite me.
Wow. Okay, do we have a rift?
Take. Yes.
Let's start a rift. Can we have a fallout?
Chaos. Chaos.
Hey,
No, it's
Gabby,
fine.
you told me you were listening in, so I'm shouting you out as we're speaking. We're having a fallout right now.
Yeah.
Because you invited me, and I just didn't go, and Sarandon's here and was not invited.
Yeah. Rip.
So outrage. I say we just walk out.
We do. Just cue the door.
Slam the door.
Slams it.
Anyway, we're talking the new Bleacher Report article about even more chaos, honestly.
Chaos?
Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy, Green Bay Packers. Mike McCarthy was fired after, and I quote, a lowly loss to the lowly Cardinals, something like that.
You know, it was rough last season.
Hey, I love that win.
Yeah.
As a Bears fan, this is absolutely fascinating. I think as any fan, this is absolutely fascinating.
That was the highlight of the season for the Arizona Cardinals. But now, it's a new era. We got Cliff Kingsbury. And possibly Kyler Murray.
And
we're probably going to trade Josh Rosen for something.
Right.
Okay, I don't need the sarcasm. We don't need to make this rift worse, Nicole.
We're having a falling out.
I know.
Want to let you know that.
I know.
But this is a Bleacher Report article, a real falling out.
Falling out. A real chaotic falling out. We love it.
It's a long article, but it's absolutely worth the read. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, I read for maybe 15 minutes, and I'm not a slow reader. I'm a decent sized speed reader, and I did not get more than a fifth through the article.
It's long, but basically some former players came on to either defend or slam Aaron Rodgers. Actually, Greg Jennings was one of them to slam Aaron Rodgers.
Really?
Yeah. So Aaron Rodgers, I think this is kind of a known fact. He's cut off his family for the most part. It became apparent when Jordan Rodgers
went on. Other things, though. It was not football related. The cutting
no,
off
but that's still a problem.
Right. No, go. Continue. Sorry. Did not mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
This is going to be awful.
Anyway, so
why did he cut off his family? Go for it, Nicole.
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, you don't know? Do you really not know?
No.
Oh, he cut off his family because his brother went on The Bachelorette and won.
I thought it was before that, though.
No.
Because that was like a storyline. See, I don't watch The Bachelor.
I don't either. But
okay,
my mom and my sister do.
My mom watches it.
Shout out to them because I think they're listening. But
I don't even know if my mom's listening. But hi, Mom.
Wow. Have some support.
Sometimes she forgets, okay?
I know, my parents do too. Anyway.
That's why they're on my YouTube channel.
Yes.
Slight plug.
All of our past episodes of the Future is Female show where you can listen to where Nicole and I had a falling out.
Yes.
Are on her YouTube.
Oh, I told my mom I watched The Bachelor one week, and she was like, oh, you watched The Bachelor? And she's like, what did you think of this? What did you think of this? She was like so excited. But it was the only episode I watched. I'm sorry, Mom. I love you.
Every week they ask me to watch it, and every week I'm like, no.
Monday Night Football's on.
Well, not even that.
And there's better things to do.
There's better things to do.
It's really entertaining, though. I'll give them that. It's very entertaining.
Yes, from a editor standpoint, I'm like, yeah, that's interesting how they manage to manipulate drama into it. But from a I just want love, no,
I just want love.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so
so his brother went on The Bachelorette, and they ended up he got engaged to the Bachelorette, he won, quote unquote.
No, he did win. It's a reality show.
Yeah,
he won.
And so his brother, Aaron, was like, didn't want you to go on it, and don't.
Because he can dictate what his family does, ?
Well, it was I think they were playing it up on the show because it was
obviously.
Aaron Rodgers'
Obviously.
brother. But
that's what they do. But Aaron Rodgers also holds grudges. He has been holding a grudge since he was not drafted by Mike McCarthy when he was on the 49ers, when he actually said that Alex Smith is a better quarterback. Aaron Rodgers has been holding that grudge since 2005 or 2006, whenever McCarthy became head coach. He's been holding that grudge forever. And that's why I
respect that, though. Like, seriously? Like, to hold a grudge for that long?
That is impressive. Like, you don't just...
That's a feat. To, like, actively think, like, you know what? I hate this person. I'm going to hold a grudge against them. Like, I mean, I have disliked people, but I don't know if I could hold a grudge against them for 10
I would just
or more
forget
years.
about it.
Yeah. Like, live your life. I mean, like, maybe he couldn't forget about it because, like, he was hired. Like, I feel like that would really make me upset.
And he's like, 10 years ago, he said Alex Smith was a better quarterback. And it's like...
but, like, okay. So, like, think about it this way. You know, you're not drafted. You're set, like, or not drafted by this coach who, you know, originally thought you were going to get drafted by. Who blatantly says, you know, you're not as good as this guy. Which, if you were to compare Aaron Rodgers and Alex Smith, no, there's no comparison. Like, Aaron Rodgers is just better.
But there's a difference between having a grudge and having a chip on your shoulder. If he had a chip on his shoulder because of that, that's so different from him holding a grudge over McCarthy.
Okay, so define chip on your shoulder then.
It's what Baker Mayfield has.
Against
it's like
Hugh Jackson?
I think no. I'm kind of speaking just in general. Yes, he has a grudge against Hugh Jackson.
So you would define that one as a grudge?
Yes, but he has a chip on his shoulder.
Face is getting so red. It's so funny. But okay. So
too bad no one can see to confirm that fact. I can't even confirm that fact.
Yeah.
But no. So Baker Mayfield I think he holds a grudge against Hugh Jackson, which is fine.
But he has a chip from everything that he's gone through?
Right.
Okay.
Like,
so
from walking on, not really, you know, being the starter.
Okay, I could see that it could have started as a chip, but then when you hire the coach that blatantly said, like, you weren't good, and now you have to put all your faith into that coach, I can see why it'd be, like, I don't condone holding a grudge for 10 years. That's a lot. That's too much energy.
That's a lot of energy.
Crochet. Like, I mean, do something else. Knit.
Knit.
It's relaxing. I don't do it. So I can see having a grudge for maybe a season. Yeah. And just being like, you know what? I'm going to prove to you.
Right, which is fine. Yeah. Which is 100% fine.
Because honestly,
but 10 years?
That's a bit much.
It gets better, too, because so McCarthy has been reported to miss team meetings for massages. This is, like, reported. Players have confirmed this. Also, GM Ted Thompson, who's very old, would fall asleep in team meetings. It's just a whole mess. Aaron Rodgers would also change plays in the huddle, like, you know how you would in backyard football. You just drew it on. I'm pretty sure that's what he would do. Well, and if you look at it, I mean, it's hard for receivers because, as Greg Jennings was saying, like, he would see receivers be scared to even say hello to Aaron Rodgers, and they don't know who to listen to then. Do they listen to Mike McCarthy's play call or Aaron Rodgers' play call?
Yeah, I can see.
But you want to make your QB happy.
Yes. So here's the thing. I think when you have a coach with such a talented quarterback, you have to trust him. And you have to, like, understand, you know, that he does know what he's doing. He's seeing things on a play that maybe you're not being able to see. And the game does change. It changed even from 2011 to now. It's changed tremendously. And, I mean, there was a whole part of NFL history where everyone wanted, like, a running quarterback, like a scrambling quarterback. Yeah. That was successful.
You're about to get one. What are you saying?
I know. But, like, that was back when, like, oh, my God. It was, like, RG3. Yeah. Like, that era of running scrambling quarterbacks. Like, the only really successful one was Russell Wilson. Yeah. Yeah, think about it.
Who wants a new deal by April 15th, by the way. That's news. That's news for you.
Yeah. But I feel like when you have... Because Aaron Rodgers is a smart quarterback. Yes. He's always been a smart
Very talented.
Very talented. Very high football IQ. And so I think when you have a player like that, it's like Tom Brady. I mean, do you think Tom Brady calls his own plays? Like, genuinely?
No, because Bill Belichick's a genius.
Right. But think about if Tom Brady didn't have Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
He called his own plays.
Yeah.
And you should trust him to call his own plays.
Well, and you should, and I think that's what this article focuses on, is that there was sort of a power struggle.
Right.
And it's actually titled, like, one of the players suggested it be titled Egos Destroyed the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
Because, and this is actually something Greg Jennings said, the reason, like, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, Sean Payton and Drew Brees work is because they both want the same thing, but, like, they both want it together.
But also,
right?
I feel like
Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy, they both want the same thing, but they both want credit for it. So it's like, we want to win, but I want the credit for it.
Right. So that's what I was about to say, is that both Drew Brees and Sean Payton, Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, they complement each other ego-wise. Bill Belichick is very not egotistical, like notoriously. Yeah. And I would say Drew Brees is the same.
Drew Brees. Sorry.
I said Drew Brees.
You said it a second time. I had to call you out. Go on.
It's fine. I'm going to cry in the corner. But so I would say Drew Brees is the same, where he's not really about it for the fame and the money. He seems very much like grounded, down to earth. And that's why I think they work, is because they complement each other.
Right.
And I mean, I think you're right with, both Rodgers and McCarthy wanted credit for it. But, at the end of the day, are you trying to win games and win championships? Or are you just, trying to make yourself the big man on campus and, like, peacock yourself?
Right, which is what both are trying to do. And this is actually Greg Jennings' quote, like, word for word. Mm-hmm. So the reason why it works with Sean Payton and Drew Brees is because they actually want the same thing more than they want for themselves. That was the problem in Green Bay. When you look at Aaron Rodgers and McCarthy, they both want the credit. So basically what I just paraphrased, I thought I'd just give the direct quote.
Right.
But I think you're right, like with Mike McCarthy, and like obviously, maybe he's skipping meetings, not have a high football IQ. Aaron Rodgers does have a right to do that, but I think where the problems come in is like some of these players who are saying he was entitled, absolutely. He was, which I buy. Like, I think we all kind of knew Aaron Rodgers was a jerk when he cut off his family. Like, we kind of knew that was the problem. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I find this article so fascinating. Just go read it, make up your own mind. But when the Packers hired Matt LaFleur from Tennessee, they actually didn't go over it with Aaron Rodgers at all. They didn't check it with him at all. They just told him, don't be the problem. Mm-hmm. Which is very interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I've been in situations where I was fighting, people. Like, we were both trying to do our own vision of something. And, the higher-ups had to sit us down and be like, listen, you got to check your egos if you want to, and work together. And I, made the decision. I was like, listen, we got to do it for the betterment of whatever we were doing.
Right.
I don't want to say names and or things. But, yeah, no, you just, at a certain point, it's not about you.
Yeah.
And you have to understand that.
And that's the part where I understand people like Aaron Rodgers, LeBron James. Like, I still hate it because I feel like you should listen to your coach. Like, I'm kind of like that. But at the same time, I'm a little hypocritical in saying that because anyone who knew me from high school swim knew that was probably the last thing I did because I didn't respect my coach. But, whole thing now, but that was a whole thing. I'm not entirely proud of who I was then, but it's looking back and realizing that. Like, I can look back and realize that.
Absolutely.
Like, I wasn't 100% right, but I also wasn't 100% wrong either. And I don't think Aaron Rodgers is 100% right, but he's also not 100% wrong either. Because when you don't respect your coach, when you think that you're better than them, yeah, that's gonna cause a rift. That's gonna cause you not wanting to listen to them. So I understand it, but at the same time, now we're talking NFL. We're not talking high school sports. That's where the difference is.
Right, and I think that there's it is a two-way street. The coach has to demand respect.
Right.
And your coach has to be prepared and ready and willing to adapt to a changing league. And it didn't seem like McCarthy was willing to do that. He wanted to play the same old game. And the NFL doesn't work like that.
Yeah, and there's actually something where, corners, receivers ran the same route like all the time. So corners knew what was coming.
Right.
Like rivals knew what was coming. So that's the Green Bay Packers article. Super interesting read. Again, please go read it. I love this article. Very well written, as you said.
Yeah.
Now we have opening weekend part 2. You're
Yeah.
happy. I'm not. Let's start with you.
Well, I grew up, for listeners out there, I grew up in Phoenix, so I'm a huge Diamondbacks fan. Always have been. You know, it's been rough a couple of times for most of my life, actually. And, you know, this last offseason, it wasn't looking like the Diamondbacks were going to be too good. But now, you know, after last night against the Boston Red Sox,
Home opener.
Pretty happy. So if you guys don't know, the Diamondbacks absolutely destroyed the Red Sox, which
Is amazing.
Which I think makes us World Series champions at this point. Yeah.
You know what? The Cardinals are bad, so I'll give you that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, so they won last night. I'm trying to find the score because it was fantastic. It was
like 15-8, right?
Yeah, 15-8. And Ketel Marte hit a grand slam with 2 and had another home run. You know, just casual. And it does really look like if the Diamondbacks play like that for the rest of the season, that will be quite nice. But they also had a really rough start against, you know, the Dodgers in their first weekend series. Yeah, because the Dodgers are on an absolute tear right now.
Can I name a worse start? The Chicago Cubs.
Go, Cubs, go. Hey,
I'm
Chicago.
so sad. So it started out great. Beat the Rangers in Texas. 1-0. We've dropped 6 straight since then. We are already 5.5 games behind the NL Central leaders, Milwaukee Brewers.
Which are insanely good right now.
And we lost 13-10. So 10 runs wasn't enough. See, like the offense, they're trying. Pitching, not so great. And as you said before, the Chicago Cubs article on ESPN, you can't win if you can't pitch. And these Cubs can't pitch. And they're absolutely right. Jose Quintana started last night. I mean, honestly, our best guy right now is John Lester. We don't have relievers. We don't have anything. Let me give you the numbers. Like, it's early. It can turn around. But it's not looking great. I'm not saying I'm giving up. But if you see me in a Detroit Tigers shirt around, just saying. But
so you're giving up.
No, I love my Cubs. Detroit's just my second team.
Gotcha.
But so the Cubs rank last in MLB right now in ERA, 7.85, 29th in starters ERA, 29th in relievers ERA, and Edwards has a 32.4 mark after serving up the long ball to Arcia. I don't know, from the Brewers.
I don't know.
The bullpen, we also rank first in issuing walks. So
love that stat.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah.
So it's just it can turn around, but to start off like this, like I know, yeah, we just won a World Series, whatever. I can still
3 years ago.
Yeah, I'm almost out of the grace period. I can still talk about this pitching because it's just like it's just so bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing else.
See, I was a pitcher in high school. So to me, pitching is more important than hitting because if you keep the other team to 0,
right.
It
Because
doesn't matter.
Were we going to outscore them? No, and we can't do like if we have to outscore teams the rest of the way, we're going to win like 20 games.
Right. And so that's why I think, you know, when it comes to pitching, and pitching is not a straight line. Like it goes up and it goes down depending on days, depending on arms, depending on, you know, the weather. Who even knows? Like,
right.
So to me, pitching is almost more volatile than hitting because you can be in a slump, but the second like you get back into it, then you're fine. So with pitching for me, it's more of like it's a day-to-day thing. and you have to just keep looking at it as day to day and win the little victories. Because if you think about pitching as like, oh, this whole month, like, we just have sucked and we haven't done well, and then you're just never going to get out of it. And you just have to think, you know, this pitch, this at bat, this inning, you know, break it down as slow as possible and look individually and say, all right, I'm really feeling my curveball today. Let's just throw more of those. I'm really feeling my fastball. I'm hitting my spots. I'm not hitting that spot with that pitch. And you just have to keep going and keep. See, I feel like pitching is going to turn around.
I hope it does, because if it doesn't, we're not looking too great.
There's just no way that professional MLB pitchers, because they know.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't like, you know, fans are like, oh, they're doing so bad. Like, these players know. They understand. They feel wrong. Like, they understand what it's like to win. And they want to win.
Right.
And so that's what I feel like fans always kind of forget that. It's like when teams are in a slump, they're like, oh, they're just not giving. No, these guys are trying. Like, it's not like they're not trying. Right. They want to win. They don't like losing. No one likes losing. No one's like, yes, I lost. No. That's not how it works.
And to give up 13 runs is rough. They play the Brewers again tonight, as do the Diamondbacks play the Sox.
And that's just a rough team to start off with.
Right. I mean, we've had the Rangers, Braves, and then Brewers.
Right.
Rangers aren't great. We should have won that series. Braves, pretty darn good. Brewers, pretty darn good.
Right. So, like, I wouldn't worry yet because those teams are just so hot.
Yeah, I'm still a little worried. I'm worried about everything else. I'm worried about pitching. That's it. But it's still early. There's still a lot of baseball to be played. Thank God.
Lots of baseball.
Thank God. So we'll take one more break. When we come back, I still have faith in my Cubs. Let me just put that out there. Let me just make that clear.
Mm-hmm.
So when we come back from our final break, we're quickly recapping the men's and women's Final Four. Muffet McGraw had some things to say, Notre Dame head coach. And then we're talking Marvel. We're talking Endgame.
Quickly.
Just
at the end of our show, before Gabby comes back.
Before we can't. We'll be right back. You're listening to The Future is Female on Blaze Radio, blazeradioonline.com. Very calming.
I know.
Welcome back here.
Do something after Africa.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back here to The Future is Female. Nicole Pinter, Sarandon and Raboin. The women's Final Four happened yesterday in Tampa Bay. The championship is set. No, it is not Oregon and UConn. It is Notre Dame and Baylor. Mm-hmm. And both great games. Mm-hmm. Men's Final Four is tonight. Virginia versus Auburn is the first game around 3, I believe. Mm-hmm. And then Texas Tech and Michigan State follow.
Yeah.
That's in Minneapolis.
If you remember last week, then I said that Duke was going to lose.
I also did, so I don't know why you're...
I know. But we both were right, so...
Yes.
Take that,
Which is funny, because I was listening back, like, 2 weeks ago, and I said there's no way Duke doesn't get out of the region, and then last week I said Michigan State would win, so, like...
Wow.
I know.
You're just so good at your job.
I am.
All right. So, you know, let's do a quick recap of... Well, let's just do really quick predictions. Who do you think is going to go to the finals and or win the entire thing for the men's, and then who's going to win for the women's?
I'll start with men's. I think Virginia-Auburn's going to be a good game because Virginia likes to start slow, as all ACC teams do. And I think Auburn can take advantage of that. Mm-hmm. But Virginia's been kind of quietly good, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I think...
Because I think they're still so, expected.
Yeah. So I like Virginia. Texas Tech, Michigan State's, I think, a really good game because Texas Tech's defense. And I honestly kind of like Texas Tech to win this game. Mm-hmm. I think Michigan State's a really good team, but maybe it's the Michigan in me, but a part of me really likes Texas Tech to win this game. And then Texas Tech, Virginia, I think Virginia wins. I think even if Michigan State beat Tech, I think Virginia wins. I think they're the best team left in the Final Four. And then for women's, Notre Dame, Baylor, I think Baylor's just been so good this whole season.
No repeat?
What?
No repeat for
No
Notre Dame?
repeat. I don't think there's a repeat. What do you think?
You know what? I'm going to go with repeat.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh. Yeah. I mean, like, they're both so dominant. Like, it's not easy to pick one at all. And I'd be happy for either of the programs because they're fantastic. I think Notre Dame's just got something, man. I think they're just doing well. I think Baylor has played really well in the March Madness in the tournament. But, you know, it's just, I think Notre Dame's just in one of those, like, stretches where good luck.
Yeah, really.
But, yeah.
What about men's Final Four?
Men's Final Four, I have Tech versus Michigan. So I have Tech over Michigan. And then I'm going to go with the Tigers because upset nation. I'm such an underdog favorite. I love it.
I love upsets.
Because it's boring if you're just like number one. Like, this is what March Madness is for. Like, upsets.
The 5 seed.
Yeah. I mean, do I really think Virginia's going to lose to Auburn? Not really. Do I want Auburn to beat them? Yeah. Yeah, I do. So I'm going to go with Auburn and Tech, and then have Tech win. But
that's an interesting pick.
We'll see. I doubt it's going to be right, but that's
we'll come back next week and see.
Next week. Yeah, we will.
All right, so to the women's, Oregon's Sabrina Ionescu is unsure if she will turn pro yet.
Yeah.
She's expected to turn pro.
Right.
But she's not sure. She could come back. I don't think she comes back personally. Mm-hmm. Such a great player. Didn't have a great game yesterday.
Yeah.
But her and oh my God, UConn's player, what's her name? Katie Lou Samuelson. There we go. Her and Sabrina Ionescu, both looking to go to the WNBA draft. I think they're both going to be great players in the WNBA. Mm-hmm. So just a little bit of early rest. But one of the bigger stories, I think, from the Women's Final Four is Notre Dame's head coach, Muffet McGraw.
Yes. Fantastic. So if you guys haven't seen it on Twitter or any kind of news organization site or social media, Notre Dame's head coach, Muffet McGraw, said some really, poignant things about gender equality, especially when it comes to the WNBA and to women's basketball. She was talking about how, this was a while ago, but she said that she was no longer going to hire any male coaches for her staff for the women's basketball team at Notre Dame or any future staff. So what that means is that, or what she's trying to achieve with this goal is, she wants to make sure that the WNBA is fostering coaches for women, or like positions for women coaches, and not just giving it to men's. Because back in the 70s when women's basketball was established, it was like 90% coaches by women, and now it's down to under 50, which is staggering for a sport that is played by women. You would think there would be more women's coaches.
Right.
And, when you look at the NBA or men's basketball in college and the NCAA, you see, 90% is all men coaching. And so what McGraw is trying to say is like, you know what? If you're going to have 90% in the NBA and the NCAA men's league, we're going to have 90% in the WNBA and the women's basketball, because it's only fair.
Yeah.
Because why would we have men coach women who have never played that specific part of basketball? So that was one thing that she mentioned. And she was calling for just overall gender equality in every line of work, and how there's still so much fighting to be done when it comes to equality. And she was talking about politics and how she's so tired about hearing, record-breaking amount of women elected, first woman governor, anything like that. And she's like, when is it going to become normal? And when is it going to not be a big deal for a woman to take a position of power and to hold high leadership positions? When is it going to just be, you are the most qualified candidate, we will pick you, or you are the ones whose ideas we resonate with the most, we're going to pick you, rather than, it's, I guess you won because there was no other man to do the job, but good job. So that's what she's really talking about. And it was just a really poignant, statement from a very high seen woman in power within college basketball.
everything you just said. Like, that was perfect.
Wow, thanks.
So, Muffet McGraw, absolutely right. Now, obviously, people had problems with this. As Gino Auriemma, UConn's coach, said, well, you better thank the men that helped you, like, win along the way. And, you know, why do we always have to thank the men, I think, is point.
It's also, you know, how many times have you heard men, like, head coaches thank the women on their staff?
Right, like, very little.
No, I'm all about giving credit where credit is due.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, and I think, you know, if you do a job, you should be recognized for it, regardless of what gender you are. And I think, you know, I think overall it's just a respect that you should give respect to these women who are in these positions rather than just giving respect to men and acknowledging that women are in these positions. Yeah. You need to, you know, treat these women as the complete bosses that they are.
Yes. There needs to be equal playing ground. And sadly, in 2019, there still isn't. So, Muffet McGraw, Sarandon Raboin. Yeah. Hats off to her, Sarandon Raboin. Everything you just said was perfect. I don't, nothing I need to add.
Thanks.
Real quick, Marvel.
Yes.
We'll probably talk about this more because I already got tickets.
Did you really? I haven't gotten my tickets yet.
I'm so excited.
I know. My sister's insanely excited for it.
Oh my God. It's 3 hours.
I know.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
I know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to buy a drink for it. Like,
Right?
I think.
Or like food.
Food I could live with. Like,
yeah.
But like
I need water with the food.
It's going to be interesting. Definitely, like, it's going to be a test of how long I can.
Test of will and strength.
Test of will.
We're doing more work than the Avengers are, honestly.
Yeah, we are. Okay, quick. Avenger who's going to beat Thanos. Who do you think
Who's going to beat Thanos?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Who do you think is the pivotal person?
I think it's Nebula.
Really?
Yes. Because in the comics, she is the one who has the Infinity Gauntlet. So I kind of think they go off of that. If it's not Nebula, I think it's Cap. Or
really?
I take that back because that would mean Cap would die. I think it's Iron Man.
Iron Man's going to die, though.
Yeah, Iron Man's going to die. I don't think Cap dies. Or both of them are.
Both of them are.
I don't know. This is hard.
I think it's Ant-Man because you can go back in time. And that's how they defeat him.
I thought you were going to say something else with Ant-Man. Because you know what I'm thinking. Have you seen those on Twitter?
Yeah,
I'm not going to say it on air, but if you look up Ant-Man beating Thanos on Twitter,
do some
research. I'm just saying.
Okay.
That's a way.
No, they're going to use the quantum realm to go back in time. That's why they're all wearing the white suits in the trailer. Boom, you heard it here.
Heard it here first.
Hot takes.
Takes.
They're not hot.
They're not hot.
I got those off the internet. Anyway, we got to wrap it up.
Yeah. One last thing. This kind of somber note to end on, but this is the 1-year anniversary of the Humboldt Broncos bus crash.
Absolutely.
So, hearts still with Humboldt and everyone on that team, every survivor, parents. Just very, very sad 1 year. Memorials are to be held.
Right.
Just probably everywhere.
Everyone in the sports community is, rooting for you and praying for you and giving all of our love because nothing is scarier than sending your kids or allowing them to practice and to play sports and then something bad happens to them.
And it's not even on the field
it's
court or whatever.
Right. It's, no one wants to do that. Do you know how many bus rides I've taken in my life? It literally could have happened to me.
Right.
And
so it's very,
very,
very
sad.
Scary. We remember the victims, everyone involved. Hearts are with Humboldt.
Yes, absolutely.
Just to end on a happier note, we're still excited for Marvel Endgame.
Yes.
We'll probably talk about it more coming up.
All right.
So that's going to do it for The Future is Female. I'm your host, Nicole Pinter, alongside Sarandon and Raboin. We'll see you next week on The Future is Female.
With Gabby.
Gabby
Gabby will be back next week. We're not going to be unsupervised anymore.
We won't be unsupervised. The kids won't be left unsupervised. But thank you for joining us on The Future is Female.